Thanks for joining us today. We have Belle Ryan with us. Hi, Belle.
Hi, how you going?
Belle's one of our lecturers here at Ikon, and she teaches in the Bachelor of Arts Therapy.
Yes.
For those that don't know, our course has had a name change from the Bachelor of Arts Psychotherapy to the Bachelor of Arts Therapy, just in case anyone's confused about the name difference. But Belle's here today to talk to us about all things art therapy.
Yes.
And I guess I thought we could start with the exercise that you're running through your business, the focus group.
Yes, so in my business, Ignite Art Therapies, I'm really focusing on adults and professionals who are stressed out, maybe have so much going on in their life that things can feel a little bit out of control. And so what I've decided to do is actually run some focus groups where professionals from all different fields come together and just go through a process with me in a group and give me some feedback in what their experience is, because I think sometimes the word art therapy can feel a little bit intimidating. And so I really want to get some language and people to really experience what's happening, and so we can get the word about art therapy out there a lot more.
Oh, great. Yeah. So in terms of the focus groups, is there still an opportunity for people to register for them?
Yes, we have a few spaces still available, so maybe we'll pop a link in and we can you can follow that if you're interested.
Fantastic. And in terms of future plans for business, I know in a previous interview that we did with you, you talked about future plans, and you were going to launch some information further down the track. Are you any closer to revealing any more information about that?
Yeah, for the moment I'm really focusing on doing some one-on-one work with professionals, and so rather than just having a one-off session, which is very valuable and really effective, actually taking them through a 3-month program and working one-on-one with them so we can consolidate and really work together on what they need, which is more clarity, less confusion, to be not stressed as much, to get that balance in their life, the things, have closer relationships, the things that they really want. And so I've decided to sort of package that up, and I've got a few people coming through a pilot program at the moment, which so far so good. It seems really good. The outcomes of that are going to be huge, and it's really measuring where am I now, and then at the end of the program having a look at, well, what's improved and how do we continue that as well. The other thing I'm focusing on, I've had a few inquiries about public speaking and talking about how creativity can be used. And one of the things that I really love when I think about art therapy is the fact that it's about thinking outside the box sometimes, doing things differently, using a different part of your brain and really integrating and finding information that you didn't know before. And so it's things like, how do I self-reflect? How do I reflect on what's happening in my life? How do I make a decision? And using creativity to do that. What about the fact that teams in organisations, need to use creativity to find another way and be innovative and give things a go? So it's really focusing in on, well, why would we bother using creativity, And I saw an article the other day about Lego, people using Lego as a whole concept of, trying to make decisions and connect as a team. And so art therapy is very similar to that. And so I'm really investigating the whole idea of, well, why would we use creativity? And I think, I do it every day, so I know that, but, how do we get people to know that there is actually a different way, and that our art scars don't have to mean that we're not creative. The fact that our Year 3 teacher told us that we weren't good at art doesn't mean that you're not creative. There's some incredibly creative people who do things that they don't consider that are creative. But so how do we embrace that and really start thinking differently rather than it being black and white?
So it's about embracing your own brand of creativity.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and how when you look for it like I do, how sometimes there's just not the words for it. So, I was watching Dancing with the Stars the other day, and, Courtney Act did this most incredible dance about wanting to be Barbie and wanting to be Ken. And the movement and the expression that happened through that was way beyond what you could describe. And it touched people, because people can relate to that sense of, not knowing who they are and, trying to discover and have your identity. But it's just one way of so many different ways that you can be creative to express, explore, transform, get insight, problem solve. There's so many different ways that you can do that. And so that's something that I'm really focusing on, but also going into organisations and doing the wellbeing workshops and helping people with when they want to make connections with their team, or if there's conflict, or people are a bit stressed out, or there's been a major event happen that has people feeling a bit despondent and a bit flat. How do we process that, and how do we work together using creativity and really helping people to explore and discover and transform and move through and take the next step.
Great.
Yeah.
And in terms of booking you for a public speaking engagement, can
Yes.
people do that via your website?
Yes, Ignite Art Therapies, but also give me a call as well. We'll pop a link in as well.
No, that's okay. And I guess the thing I would highlight is, if you are a people manager, a human resource manager, or just a team manager even, if you manage people and you're finding it challenging and looking for new ways to build your team, then definitely look Belle up, because maybe creativity is the thing that you need to tap into.
Yeah, definitely. And I remember doing a workshop for an organisation, and thankfully the person who organised it didn't tell me that the manager was really unsure and a bit apprehensive about it. But afterwards, after the meeting, so we did a 2-hour workshop, it was really nice to have the feedback, and they actually came up to me and said, I was blown away. I can't believe where my staff got to and how they've connected and what they've explored. And basically the hesitation was they didn't understand that there's another way to do things, that it doesn't have to be all black and white and just in words, that their creativity really brings another way to have a look at life and what you need. And so that was pretty awesome.
And in terms of the outcomes, strengthening teams, improving communication, understanding of yourself?
Yes, yeah, definitely. And sometimes what the time out and reflecting on yourself can do is just really push the reset button. We all know we should self-care. We all know we shouldn't be so stressed. We all know what we should do, but do you do it? Is a whole other ballgame. And so what happens in the art is it really reflects life, and then those realizations and those ahas and the insight that you get then can shift something and really highlight what you need to do. And yeah, that's what I love. And sometimes there's some nice symbols and metaphor that plays out of things that you haven't considered before, or just where your instinct wants to go and what you want out of life. And I think that's an amazing thing to have.
Do you have a success story of a professional who was in, a bit of a bad position, who improved their life through creativity, tapping into that creativity?
Yes, definitely. So I have a couple of clients who come and see me regularly for like tune-ups now. But I do have a client in mind who, is pretty successful. And, on the surface, everyone thinks it's all fantastic and it's all brilliant and, oh my God, they're doing amazing things in their career, which they are. Behind that, there is so much insecurity and self-doubt and self-sabotage that they get in their way all the time. And what's playing out is they had quite a traumatic upbringing, and they just have these messages that they're not worth anything and that they have to work really hard to achieve anything. If I'm not working hard, then I'm not achieving. And so what we've done is really, through the art, be able to work through some of those barriers. And, for instance, one day they built this massive clay wall that was just like, I can't get through it. And so we spent the session actually working out what was really hard and concrete and stuck and everything that's going on. But how do we get through it? What do we need to do? Is there a doorway? Do we go around it? Do we go over it? How does that work? And so we've consistently done work like that has them, whenever they have an event or feel like they're doing really well, they catch themselves in not needing to work so hard. That it's okay for it to be easy and flow because I've had so much experience and I can do this. And it's so amazing to see them completely shine and be comfortable in their own success. And I think that's something that lots of people struggle with. And I love that the art therapy has really brought that confidence, clarity, focus, energy. And what's actually happening is they're spending more time with their family and doing things that they love, rather than having to work so hard, because that's what we've worked constantly on in the art and what's driving that. And that's been pretty amazing.
Thanks for joining us today, Belle.
No worries.
And don't forget to register for Belle's upcoming focus groups. And as I mentioned, if you are managing people and you are interested in using or tapping into creativity within your teams, visit Belle's website and get in touch with her, and also for public speaking opportunities.
That's great.
Thank you.
Thanks.